Hi, everybody. So, our group is Team F. We are the con side of Edward Snowden for the debate. This is Teresa. We also have Adriana, Bishoy, and Drew. So, quite a little bit of background on this topic. So, for an introduction, Edward Snowden was a computer admin for the CIA and the NSA, so the federal government, if you didn't know. He leaked stolen, classified details of multiple top secret US and British surveillance programs from the NSA to the press. Now, this wasn't just leaking the US information, this was also leaking the British information, so that was a big deal. The US Prosecution Office charged Snowden with espionage, which is spying in a way, and theft of government property. So that's absolutely a giant deal. I work for the government, so when you go into the government, you have to sign off a million different pieces of paperwork saying that you're not going to leak their information, and there's a reason that you get top secret clearance to get access to this classified information. So him leaking this information was a huge deal. This happened in 2013, and the last time he was seen was in Moscow. That's where he's believed to be right now, but it is still an undisclosed location. So the proposition for this project is that Edward Snowden is not a whistleblower and should be prosecuted for leaking this information. A little more background on that. People consider Snowden to be either a traitor or a hero to the U.S. government. In the traitor side of things, people believe that he's done grave damage to the U.S. intelligence community by leaking all of this information, or people are considering him a whistleblower. Others see him as a hero for speaking out against the government, as said. His reveal of this whole problem led to the debates over mass surveillance, government secrecy, and the balance between security and privacy of information. So, what is a whistleblower? I know that term's going to be thrown around quite a bit in this presentation, so I just wanted to go over the Wikipedia definition of what a whistleblower is. So, whistleblower is a person who exposes any kind of information or activity that is deemed illegal, unethical, or not correct within an organization that is either private or public. So, now we're going to go on to the argument section of this PowerPoint.
Edward Snowden is not a whistleblower, and he does not deserve to be pardoned. He leaked classified information to the public and instigated the public to panic while shining a false light on the U.S. government. The United States has the political power to defend the nation's common good. They developed secret anti-terror programs, allowing them to analyze surveillance, allowing them to stop terrorism. Edward Snowden could have followed proper guidelines that would have allowed him to raise the public's awareness lawfully, in which he would have still been protected by the U.S. government. However, Edwin took matters into his own hand, and instead of taking the legal route, he decided to leak top secret information to the public on his own authority. Some say that Edward was a hero, that he informed the people about the government surveillance, and due to his actions, legal authorities can now defend the people's rights. However, Edward could have impacted a change in political programs without exposing or condemning the United States government. He instead put American national security at risk, and therefore he is wrong.
Edward Snowden did a lot of bad things for us, especially the United States government, from stealing sensitive information to leaking top secret projects. Edward Snowden got us in a lot of trouble with our allies and the countries that already did not like us. When Edward Snowden started stealing sensitive information, he didn't realize what he was actually doing because he was doing it on his instinct. He was more focused on what his moral thought was. He realized that he didn't see something good. But what he didn't realize is that he should have given it a thought and maybe think more about what his actions were going to do. When he stole secretive information, he realized that he was not safe in the United States anymore. So he went to other countries to seek asylum, to seek a place where he could stay, so he could still leak the future information that he wanted to leak. He started to realize that no country wanted to go against the United States, so they wouldn't let him stay there for that long. Soon, he realized that the only country where he could stay would be Russia. When he went to Russia, he started staying in an asylum, and now he currently still resides there. He still writes all his articles from Russia and is okay from posting from Russia. What happened is, since Russia and the U.S. don't really see eye to eye a lot, Russia's okay with him staying there and posting these articles and maybe leaking some information that could be beneficial to them. When he was leaking these informations, one of the big things he did was leak some top secret projects that were supposed to be for no one but the United States government themselves. What he did was he started leaking projects which got the eye of other countries, and then they started looking bad upon the United States government when he leaked the NSA projects. Especially the one that got the most attention was the one where the NSA can spy on smartphone data usage. What this basically says is what I am doing on my phone right now can be looked up by the United States government, and they can follow up with this information and then figure out what to do with it later on. This got the whole entire world thinking that the United States government was doing something that was not okay with other countries and was not okay by the individuals themselves. The United States government was looked down upon by all the other allies and enemies they had already had. Snowden did no help to the United States. He might think that he was a hero, but honestly, he did nothing but betray his own country and give information that was not supposed to be given out in the first place.
From the ethical professional point of view, Snowden acted incorrectly. When a private company hires someone, a confidentiality document is signed and all the executives and employees are obligated to honor it. If someone of the contracted is not able to comply for whatever reason, they only have to resign, and if they have information, they cannot make it known. It is not good that Snowden has spent a reasonable time having access to confidential information and then goes around disclosing it. If indeed the United States could be missing from its citizens and the countries with which it has diplomatic relations, neither did Snowden act responsibly, since he knew the type of work that the company would make him do and to whom that work would be. He did not act in accordance with the deontological codes that protects his profession, which he was obligated to comply with. If it could certainly be argued that Snowden acted freely, on the other hand, it was claimed that he did not do that in a responsible way. To be a free man, you must first be responsible.
So to conclude, our group believes that Edward Snowden should be prosecuted for his wrongdoings. He went against the government contract and leaked very important information regardless of whether it was intentional or not. It's still unknown whether it was intentional, but considering he had to get top secret clearance to work for the NSA and the CIA, this information should have been much better protected. Under the deontological codes, he acted against his profession, and under the utilitarianism theory, the U.S. acts of surveillance are not the government's fault, and they are not in the wrong for doing this, as it actually protects them. This is not as big of a deal as people made it to be against the government, and this blew out of proportion and really was used against the government when it shouldn't have been. The information that Edward Snowden strongly misled the public and ended up doing much more harm than good. Thank you!